Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for visiting Just the Best Parts. I'm SP and I'm back in the chair where I celebrate all the best parts of Star Wars culture and the fandom with an artistic vibe. So today I'm going to be taking a closer look at the two first episodes of The Skeleton Crew and let you know what I think. Okay, so I'm just going to be upfront with you. As a child of the 70s, I was 7 when A New Hope came out. I was never the biggest fan of coming-of-age films. You know, Stand By Me, E.T., Goonies, Gremlins. There was a bunch of them, you know, all the Amblin-style movies. They were okay. I liked them, but I didn't love them. You know, I know a lot of people really love these films in the 80s, and you know, I get it. Like, for example, Goonies, I've never even seen the whole thing. I saw about half of it. I was kind of bored with it. You know, you have to understand, by the time Goonies came out, you know, I was 15 years old. By that time, I was into Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, Aliens, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, pretty much all of the John Hughes films. You know, so these younger coming-of-age movies were, you know, a little young for me. When I heard Star Wars was going to do the whole Amblin vibe thing, I was kind of like, man, I'm not too excited about it. You know, I'll watch it. You know, it was never at the top of my list when, you know, they started listing all the shows that were coming out. This one was pretty much towards the bottom, I would say. But now it's out, and I've taken a few days to sit with it, think about it. So I'm going to give you my 5 major takeaways with this show. Starting number 1, visual design and cinematography. Okay, so is it me, or has the volume gotten a lot better? It looks like it's gotten refined a little bit. You know, the effects and overall visual design have leveled up a bit. The environments seem larger, and so I'm thinking that the volume technology has gotten better over the past few years. That opening scene when the pirates attack, I thought that was amazing. You know, the sets look great. The costumes look great. I thought Brutus was absolutely amazing. This was a really good action sequence, and it hooked me in, despite the fact that it was a little bit on the nose with the opening scene of A New Hope. I mean, some of that stuff was, you know, right down to dialogue rhyming. But, you know, that's cool, whatever. They're paying homage. I get it. I was also impressed with the color palette seen throughout the episodes. You know, for example, the drabness and sameness of suburbia, and the palette actually enhancing and driving home the metaphor for what these scenes represent, which I'll go into in a little bit. The same goes for the sterile white coldness of the school, and I really like the blue-greens and the oranges of the scene with the Onyx Cinder taken off, right? Launching the kids into an adventure. And also, I really liked the vibrant blues that were on Port Borgo. And, you know, and that represents a really stark contrast from where, you know, the heroes came from originally. Not only is it engaging to look at, but there is some color psychology doing work in the background there. And number 2, metaphor and theme. I'm a bit leery when Star Wars tries to anthropomorphize the universe too much. In this new era, we've gotten space toilets, space closets, breakfast cereal, eyeglasses, and now finally we get, you know, boring-ass suburbia. And don't get me wrong, the original trilogy anthropomorphized too, but it was more subtle in my opinion. It maintained this sense of mystery, and, you know, I just think that the new era has kind of lost that a little bit. It's gotten a little bit too mundane. Do we really need to see space toilets and space closets? You know, if I ever wanted to see suburbia, I just walk outside. It's just as boring in this new Star Wars version. And then the light bulb went off. This depiction of Star Wars suburbia is not just a location, it's a metaphor. It's that place of safety before taking a first step into a larger world. You know, it's the hero's journey. It also represents not only the security from the unknown, but the flip side as well. Apathy and the willingness to obey, to be ruled. It's an appeal to structure and order where everybody looks the same, acts the same, and doesn't question what they're told. And this is where the barrier comes in. At Atlan, it's not what these people think it is, but they go through life not questioning it. So when the light bulb went off, I was like, dang, man, this is some pretty deep stuff that they're talking about here. And I was able to accept it better. It doesn't bother me as much as I thought. And then we get character development and themes, like Wim's abandonment by his workaholic father. The 80s latchkey kids like myself totally got that. You know, and then there was Fern's tough girl facade created to deal with an overbearing parent. Then there's the responsibility Neil feels to succeed to prove himself to his loving family. And then there's KB, the loner kid. You know, she's smart, she's aloof, she buries her head in tech, never see her eyes. You know, she hides them from the viewer. She's mysterious in that way. And so, yeah, some of the themes are kind of tropey, but they fit well within the story and what the story's trying to be. And they've done a good enough job because it makes me want to know how all these issues are going to get resolved. And number 3, we've got dialogue and writing. Look, it's Star Wars. Star Wars has never been about dialogue. That said, I think that the new era has handled it much better than George Lucas ever could have. I mean, let's face it, Lucas could never have written the One Way Out speech, or Nemec's manifesto, or Marva's address, or Luthlan's sunless space monologue. I mean, the dialogue, by and large, has gotten better. And, honestly, I thought that this might be a big issue for me. I think that the writing is good, enough to keep me coming back for more, so there's that. It is what it is. It's a fun story that has blue elephant kids, space pirates, and a cool mystery underneath it. That's all it needs to be. And honestly, I didn't know that this was exactly the thing that I needed right now. It's just pure escapism with a throwback to my childhood, and it's done pretty good. That kind of gets me to number 4, which is, the audience appeal and expectations of it. At the time of me making this video, I don't know how this thing is being received. The state of Star Wars fandom suggests it'll be plenty hated on, I'm sure. I hope that's not the case. But, it also wouldn't surprise me with the state of things these days, too. So, I can definitely speak to myself, however, and what my expectations were. I didn't go in expecting the worst. I didn't go in expecting it to be anything, It's literally a kid's show, but it's got a little edginess to it, too, so that's cool. So after watching the 2 episodes a couple of times, I came away satisfied. It's a cute little romp that I'm enjoying. There's tons of throwbacks and Easter eggs that I've been finding myself smiling about. And I'm typically not one of those that likes to be beat over the head with, Easter eggs and little jokes and stuff. I think it just takes me out of the story, but this didn't really bother me at all. So what do you think of Skeleton Crew so far? Is it living up to your expectations, surpassing them, not surpassing them? So yeah, just let me know down in the comments. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you next week with my analysis and commentary for episode 3. Until then, I'm SP with Just the Best Parts, and may the Force be with you.